Good morning, children. This is Mrs. Anju Maneem from Springfield School, Masaptang, biology teacher for class 9th. I welcome you all to this second term session. We are going to start with the lesson number 9. In my previous videos, we have covered till lesson number 7. Lesson number 8 is deleted for you. Now, lesson number 9 is adaptation to different ecosystem. So, it's very interesting and easy lesson. I wish you good luck and I hope you will watch the video with full concentration and please listen to it attentively. To start with this adaptation to different ecosystem, we must first know what is an ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living creatures, plants, animals, including humans and microorganisms in a certain region. Each member of the ecosystem interacts with each other and the non-living parts of its environment such as water, air, climate and sunlight. So what do you understand from this? That is, the living things and the non-living things. Living things are the biotic and non-living things like air, water, soil, sunlight, they are the abiotic factors. So, the ecosystem is the interaction between the biotic and the abiotic factors, between the living and the non-living factors. In other words, we can say the term ecosystem refers to the combined physical and biological component of the environment, that is, interaction between biotic and the abiotic factors. If you observe in this slide, you will see that the ecosystem consists of the abiotic factors and the biotic factors. Biotic factors naturally includes the producers, consumers and the decomposers. Producers are plants, consumers are herbivores, those who depend on plants, and decomposers are of course bacteria. That you will study how do they decompose the dead organic matter. And abiotic factors includes water, soil, sunlight and climate, air. So this is the interaction between the abiotic and the biotic factors. As you all know that all the living organisms are interdependent on each other for various things, especially for food. To fulfill the requirement of food, they form a food chain. As you can observe in this slide, the grasshopper depends upon the grass and the mouse depends upon the grasshopper and the snake, it depends upon the mouse, and the eagle, that is the hawk, it depends upon the snake. So likewise, and when this hawk it dies, it is decomposed by the bacteria which again used up by the plants for their growth. So the chain continues. This is called as the food chain. If we observe the types of the ecosystems, the different types of the ecosystem includes terrestrial ecosystem, forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert ecosystem, tundra ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem and marine ecosystem. I will be discussing with you the desert ecosystem and the aquatic ecosystem, that is freshwater ecosystem and marine ecosystem, in my coming slides, in my coming classes. To start with the desert ecosystem, we must first know what are the xerophytes. You know what are xerophytes? Yes, the plants which are adapted to survive in the desert are called as the xerophytes. These are the plants that are adapted to live in a dry or physiologically dry habitat, salt, mud, saline soil or acid bog, by means of mechanisms to prevent water loss or to store the available water. Succulent plants that store water such as cacti and agaves have thick fleshy stems or leaves. So we will study in detail about the various adaptations taken up by the xerophytes to survive in the deserts. Xerophytes survival characteristics. That means, as I told you, the different, I will be showing you the slide of the different xerophytes, that is the different plants that grow in the desert. You all know about the cactus, agave, aloe vera, There are many more, I will tell you. Now, how are they adapted? The first thing is that they have a thick cuticle. Actually, cuticle is again it is present above the epidermis in a leaf, and it prevents the water loss by transpiration through stomata. If the cuticle is thick, then the rate of transpiration slows down. So water loss is reduced. Stomatal closure. Stomata are most of the time closed to prevent the water loss. Reduction in number of stomata. There are very few stomata present. Stomata are hidden in crypts or depressions in a leaf surface. Reduction in the size of transpiration surface and increased water storage. In addition to this, we also have succulent stems to store water, and even leaves are spiny to reduce the rate of transpiration. And also the roots are very long. They go in search of water. They are many meters long. The roots are many meters long. You can observe here succulent xerophytes with fleshy leaves. Aloe, agave, haworthia, bryophyllum, peperomia and kalanchoe. These are the different types of the xerophytes that have the succulent. They are succulent with the fleshy leaves. Now we also have succulent xerophytes with fleshy stems. Opuntia, echinocactus, euphorbia. These are having the fleshy stems. The previous one which I showed you, they have the fleshy leaves, whereas the second slide shows the fleshy stems. How are xerophytes adapted? We have seen that in such as cactus, they are capable of withstanding extended periods of dry conditions, as they have deep spreading roots and capacity to store water. The leaves are waxy and thorny that prevent the loss of water and moisture. Even their fleshy stems can store water. Yes, children, the leaves are spiny to prevent the loss of water by transpiration. The roots are very long in meters, and they go in search of water, and they have the fleshy stems which can store water. There is another plant which is called as the baobab or the pebble plant. They avoid being eaten by blending in with surrounding rocks and are often known as the pebble plants or the living stones. You know why they are called as the living stones? Whatever is the surroundings, they camouflage with the surroundings and prevent themselves from being eaten away by their prey. So children, remember, pebble plants are called as the living stones. Nowadays, many xerophytes are grown as ornamental plants in pots at homes. Some plants as a whole seems to be a flower. Some with thorns, some have flowers with bright petals. Nowadays, these kinds of plants are used as gifts for birthdays and other occasions. Can you see this? They are in pots. We can give them gift to our friends and our relatives on any occasion. They look very beautiful. They are called as the ornamental plants. Today we have covered what is ecosystem, what are the types of ecosystem, what are xerophytes, different examples of xerophytes, characteristics of xerophytes, and the uses of the xerophytes. For today's homework, note down, define ecosystem. What are the different types of the ecosystem? Second question, what are xerophytes? Give examples. How are they adapted to live in desert? I hope you understood the concept and enjoyed watching this video. Thank you very much for watching this video.